the button, so we're live right now, so we're on. Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. It's our first live in, I don't know, about a week and a half, whatever. But tonight we are joined by this young man, and note I say young, even though he's still sporting a beard, the brains behind Proud to be Paranormal. He's an author, investigator, etc., etc. Barry Frankish.
Hello.
Barry's been with us a few times, but he was with us about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, something like that, 3-4
Probably
weeks
longer
ago.
now.
Is it longer?
Yeah,
Time doth fly, doesn't it?
It does fly.
Time doth fly. Well, that sounds into September. No. Aye.
Yeah, it's a while back now. It's been a few weeks back.
I thought it was only 2 or 3 weeks. Shows you how much I know, doesn't it? Anyway, Barry's back with us. So tonight we're going to be talking about his new, I don't know, how would you term it, but project, new venture.
It's a new old one, if that makes any sense. I'm reverting back to where I started.
Right, the Victorian Ghost Hunter.
That's a mouthful for you to say.
I had to rehearse it. To keep learning. I was saying the Victorian Ghost Hunter. I was like, that's not right. That's not right. Victorian, get it right.
What, Victoria's Secrets?
That's a website, isn't it? Is that a website? I don't know.
It's some saucy stuff, I believe.
But how do you know about it then? If you,
it's what I heard in passing.
Aye, that's the usual. You know, folk will say, like say, I don't know, and Summers. Like I've heard that's an underwear shop. So I've heard. I've been told. You know, and I heard someone say when I was passing by, I bollocks, no, never. Aye, so he started a new he started a new thing. Victorian Ghost Hunter. Off to a flying start, really. No, I mean,
oh, yeah.
I need to do more shows, get back into practice. So he's going to tell us all about it, and then we're going to have a wee chit-chat about it, because I'm quite interested in this, because I've said on many a show, it's how investigating should be. But I'll hand over to Barry, who's going to give you the ins and the outs and the whatnots.
Well, the Victorian Ghost Hunter, it's funny because I was on a show a couple of years back, because I've always favoured the back to basics. I know we call it back to basics and that, and use only minimal of tools. But I was on a show a few years back now, and I was labelled the Victorian Ghost Hunter because of my methodologies, and I thought I kind of like that. But as you know, time goes on, you get rolled into other stuff. I do hosting, I've done ghost hunts, been part of other things as well. And majority of people I work with, no disrespect to anybody, a lot of people use technology. I mean, my partner uses technology, as you know, she loves the stuff. But I've come to a belief now that it's all well and good if you like your technology and things, but I think it distracts you from the purpose you're doing, because you're too engrossed and too concentrated on watching what a little box does or if it flashes or whatever. And it takes the essence out of paranormal research. I think what it is, I thought, go back to the basics of the Victorian era. They had compared to what we've got. I mean, the Victorians were the pioneers in basically everything, from from agriculture to merchandise. But basically, they owned the entire world, and also the basically, I won't say popularised the theory of paranormal research, ghost hunting and things like that, but they actually opened the door to the possibilities of life after death. So the way they did things was there was no gadgets, there was no paraphernalia. It was a medium, or for example, someone with a gift, or I believe they had the gift, but there was no technology whatsoever. And it's a more basic way of doing it, because I believe with paranormal, you want to become the conduit. So what happens is the experience is yours and not belonging to a plastic box or something like that. So if you do experience something, you've experienced it, not recorded on some other device. Because as we all know, a paranormal world, any experience is fleeting. It's not guaranteed. And I'd rather experience that myself and capture it on tape or a video or something like that, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Just say hello to Eileen. Eileen put a lovely post up about me yesterday. Thanks very much, Eileen. I'm on fire the night of my speech. It's buggered. Eileen runs Phantom Seekers Paranormal, but she put a really nice post up about moi yesterday. So you better go and read it, Barry.
I'll read it later.
Aye.
You haven't got to shut up about that.
No, I'm not shutting up about it. I'm telling the world.
Nobody cares.
You what?
Nobody cares.
Just saying, but even Laura Dock, Laura spent most of the day here. I always prefer old school ways, trumpets and ectoplasm. No, I know exactly what you're saying, Barry, and I agree 100%. We have said it on many a show. We've had this chat before as well.
Yeah.
You know, you've got. I mean, I'm not a fan of tech. No offence to anybody that uses it. You know, everybody's got their own thing. You know, and some folk love all the gadgets and stuff like that. But it takes away that kind of personal experience, and it takes away some of your concentration, because you know, if you're doing an investigation and you maybe got 6 or 10 gadgets with you, well, half your time's concentrating on if the gadgets are working right. Do they need to change battery? Have they got a signal? You know, what are they picking up? And when you're paying attention to the gadgets, you could be missing something else completely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just that as well. It's expensive as well. You lose a piece of paranormal kit these days. It's an expensive thing to lose, and you got to charge these things up. You got to keep them updated if they need updating. You got to protect. Obviously, as well, you got to protect them. And you half the place you go into, you might put something down and forget where you put it. And plus as well, I say it's cheaper is about the Victorian way of doing things. I mean, in a way, also, I am going to be using. I'll go to this bit later on, but I am actually creating my own devices, but with Victorian-esque type essence background to them. So, but everything I will be doing will be no batteries involved whatsoever, with no technology in that respect whatsoever. So, in a way, I believe to go forward, you need to go backwards a little bit.
You do, and plus, you know, as you say, you're dating devices, you know, that don't take batteries. If you're investigating, you maybe get a spirit for the Victorian times. You know, so if you've got a gadget there that they're very familiar with, then you give me a chance of them wanting to communicate with you. This is just my view. Want to communicate with you, but if you've got something that runs on batteries and lights up and all the rest of it, then they're not going to know what that is, you know. And they're going, well, you know, but it makes I recognise that, so I talk to this guy, you know. So how's it going to happen? What's your plan for it? Yeah.
Well, I am also. I've actually started my own events with them as well. I did Proud to Paranormal Day a couple of months back now. I opened a competition, and this was like a tester really for a few lucky people to do a back to basics variation of a ghost hunt at the Antiques Research Centre in England where I work as well, and it was a big hit. People loved it, and it opened a few people's eyes, I believe I was told as well, and thinking this is why we've not done this before. And it's always something I've favoured doing, but I'm taking it that one step further now as well, because I'm still doing events. I'm going to be doing special evenings. I'll be doing workshops and also video demonstrations of things I'm creating. But the difference is I'm going to be dressed up as well, and I'm going to become the Victorian Ghost Hunter. So
I've seen the picture. Very handsome.
Thank you. So what's going to be happening is if there is anything interact with us, they'll feel more inclined to interact with something or someone they can recognise from their hero. Yeah.
Eileen's saying, I find spirit boxes very distracting and open to interpretation. We use the necrophonic. We've used this in day one, and we've had quite a lot of good results using it. You know. Yeah. And we use the spirit. I think your yawning has affected my coughing. The spirit talker, which, it does chuck out random words. Everybody knows that, but some of the words we've had correspond to what we've been doing or asking at that time. But they can be distracting, and you know yourself, no doubt you've done it. You've been in investigations and maybe used an echophoto and a word came through, and
Yeah.
10 different people hear 10 different words.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you spend half the night debating what that one word was.
Yeah. And I think as well, in that respect as well, you tend to find you ask a question at some point, a word what will come up will be relevant. It might be just random, but everyone picks something up from something. And say, how many times have you heard a word what sounded like something else, but it's been a different word altogether?
Aye, we've done it. You know, we've done it many times. You know, picked up words and you think, well, that said this, but no, it turned out, didn't it? It was something totally different.
Yeah.
Candlelit lanterns, clockwork toys. It was something we used to do at Chillingham Castle periodically, all candlelit, no torches, no gadgets, spirit boards and noises on command. I mean, we you see, with an echophonic, we've had some good answers, some really good, you know, quick example. We did it at a local kirk, and I was asking about sheep, and I said, can you, you know, there's a local farm next to it, and I said, there was a wall behind the farm. I said, can you tell me what was behind that wall? And he says, sheep. It was quite a rosy card in that one. And then I said, can you tell me what colour the sheep were? And it was a Scottish accent. I said, brown.
Yeah.
And so I asked a while later, I said, can you tell me what colour these sheep were again? Sorry, I've forgotten. Brown. You know. And then the guy that owns the farm actually mailed us about a week later and says, listen, you're not going to believe this. We've got brown sheep up here. And he's been there for years. He says, I've never seen brown sheep up here. It's always black or white.
Yeah.
But there's brown sheep in the field next to the farm. So, you know, it's wee bits and pieces like that, but not old school. To me, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got to, as you say, dressing in the time period as well.
Yes, I've done it before. I've dressed as a World War II flight officer before in the past. I look quite smart in the uniform, I believe. And that was
okay. Take your word for it, okay.
That was an interesting evening. But it's like I said, what happens is you become what you're searching for. It's like an old hunter saying, isn't it? Seek what you become. Become what you'll seek, basically. And it's a similar principle. And put your essence into. I won't say I don't like using the word ghost hunt. It's derogatory term. And it's a bit of a cliche. But
I don't like that word either because it gives the impression you're running around with a torch and a big net.
Yeah, an Elmer Fudd type thing. I'll get that busted ghost.
You know, you're running this big net.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use it, you know. I don't really, I'm not a fan of the word, but I know you're called the Victorian Ghost Hunter.
Yeah. Yes. And like I said, I've got the full paraphernalia, and I'm also doing some workshop. I'll be doing workshops as well, and short videos based on some items I've created. But I'll also be looking for people to work with me who would be willing to do a similar aspect with the costume part of things.
I dare say I could dress up maybe, you know, something like a Navy captain or something.
Captain Birdseye?
I could be captain, but I think he's dead now, actually, you know. Also, I agree, like, some teams are ridiculous in compared to expensive gadgets. Hunt implies prey and superiority. Bells and balls are good. What I always seen there as expensive gadgets, there's a team that are just starting out. We've got them coming on. I think it's a weekend Sunday. We've got them coming on, and I've been talking to them and say, we need to buy, you know, A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z. And I said, no, you know, you don't need to, you know, because it says over what's these ghost shows. And it annoys me because they watch the ghost shows and think they need to go and arm themselves to the teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I says, look, just go with a torch. If it's your first investigation, go with a torch and your phone. Put the voice recorder on your phone and just go and sit. You know, I mean, buy a K2 or some cat ball, something like that, you know, something basic, but don't go spending hundreds of pounds on fancy cameras, because let's face it, your phone can be wasted these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, a mobile phone these days does everything. I mean,
And
you think a little box like that, and it's that's like a full Wi-Fi system plus media box, everything in one little package.
aye, they get into their heads because they've seen, Mr. Baggins or whoever.
Bilbo.
Aye, come going out, oh, well, this is how it really is. And you try to explain them, no, just basic. And because I've always said that spirit doesn't care.
No. And as well, another thing I've noticed as well throughout the years of doing this, I mean, I love photography, don't get me wrong, I love photography. But have you noticed, every book you get, like these books on the back shelves here, no matter what book you get, every picture of a ghost in those books is a picture that's been taken by chance. You cannot put a camera in a location, train it for 4 or 5 hours to capture something what's not there. People do, it's tourists, people doing everyday mundane things. I mean, well, I like that picture. I'll take a picture of that scenery or whatever, or location, and you inadvertently pick something up on that film.
Aye, it's never, it's never on, as you say, it's always accidental. It's witchcraft. I think I always talk about the gadgets and stuff. Bells and balls are good. I mean, we used, ping pong balls.
You could use ping pong balls because they are light. They're good for putting window ledges and things like that where there's no drafts. Because they are light things, you can ask them to be moved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can blow a ping pong ball. Obviously, where you put it, make sure there's no drafts or breezes or anything. But
see, we use them, and what I did is I marked, an arrow, whatever, on a part of the ball. Because if you're sitting and a ping pong ball moves slightly, you can't see it. You don't really notice it.
But you can get glow in the dark ones as well now.
I fancy it. No, we'll just stick to the white ones, and I'll get a pen there. Just draw an arrow. Don't Barry. Don't start talking about expense. We're Scottish, remember. But I put a wee arrow on it.
I'm a Yorkshireman. I don't like spending money.
Aye, well, I've met a few of your kind of my time, during my trucking days, and the pound coin hits them in the back of the heat kind of thing, It's basics. I think that's why I like this Victorian Ghost Hunter idea so much, because we're just a basic team, and we've got a couple of bits. We've got K2, a couple of REM pods, laser grid, which we'll have a capture on, and we've got a heat gun. Yeah. And that's it. But it's things that the heat gun, I used it a few weeks ago, and that's the first time we've used it in months. Yeah. The K2, I think everybody uses a K2. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, and to be honest with you, I don't use them. You don't use them? Nope. And a much better remedy for a K2, use a compass. See, we've got a compass. We've used a compass twice. Not any joy yet, but you know yourself, we could use it 200 times and not get any, and then we'll get that lucky once, So we've got a compass as well. And the thing is, but as you say, you go back to Victorian times, it was basic, it was simple, it was cheap. Well, I don't know if it was cheap back gone by their money, but it wasn't anything elaborate, it wasn't anything fancy. And exactly, that's how it should be today. That's what I'm concentrating on as well. It's like I said, my path. I mean, I've used the ghost boxes, I've SB11s and 7s and things. I've the REM pods. I've used all them, and personally, it's a bandwagon thing. Everyone's seen one, everyone's using them, everyone buys them. No respect to anybody who does it. But for me to advance, I'm going backwards, if that makes sense. And I mean, I'm not doing this to get get people to follow me or like me or whatever. I'm doing it for me, for my personal journey, because I believe for me, deep down, I think it's the best way to go. I mean, I like to be different anyhow. And I've met you a few times on here. In a good way, mind you. In a good way. Yeah, and you tend to find the kit. I'm not even using torches. I'm going to say everything I use. There'll be nothing
modern terminology. There might be modern variations of things from Victorian days. There's a few ideas I'm using. There's also ideas I've created as well. And for example, I'll give you an example. I won't say what it is, but you mentioned bells before. I've created a bell tree. And you'll have to see what it does actually when I create it. I've done it. I've also created a device for shadow scrying, which I'm calling it as well. There's also the bell pendulum. I've created these ideas I've got from Victorian essences, and I've been reading Victorian books. I've been stepping back, trying to work out how their minds worked. I'm trying to get rid of all the technology in my head and thinking, I'm going to simplify it. And I think it's the best way to do it. Like I said, there's not going to be any. I mean, my lamps. I'm using proper old lamps as well. So like I said, there'll be no battery operated items or recharge wise. You won't need it. So my first event, which I've got penciled in for the beginning of December, which is also going to be a special Christmas one as well, because Victorian type Christmas time area is a really special time. And that, as soon as you check for them doors, you're back in the late 1800s.
I've got a question for Eileen for you. I had it there, then it disappeared, it came back again. Do you use dowsing rods or crystals?
I have dowsing rods. And that's funny because I've also got a dowsing box, which I created.
A dowsing box?
Yes. Now, I'll explain because I've let people use this. When I worked for a ghost hunting company a little while back, I created this device and took it to 30 locations, and people loved it. And now I keep it at the Odd Antiques Research Centre in Inkley, which where I work as well. So I get that out now and again. And what it is, as we all know, the dowsing rods, it's a single person activity. People hold them upright and hopefully they spin round or do whatever. But how many times have you seen people using rods and they're not quite steady on their hands? They have a tilt them wrong way, unknowingly maybe. But they can't over get their hands drop a little bit. It moves them a little bit, so you get manipulation there. So you don't know if it's unintentionally done or they're tired or it's fatigue. You don't know. But what I've done, I have got a little brass and copper chest which I've rebuilt back up. I got it from a car boot sale. It was battered, and I've rebuilt it. There's no gadgets in there. There's no technology in there, but I've laced it with copper wire, a little bit of timber, and also brass bullet casings I put in there, which I devised because, as we all know, brass and copper are the best two conductors, which are better for rods. So what happens is the rod box itself, the lid, there's two holes in the top. You put the rods in, and they actually sit into little channels I've created. And you do it in a similar way. You put it on the centre of the this is different way it differs. You put it on the centre of the table, you sit around it, and everyone involved contacts it with your hand. This way, more people can be involved. So there's more energy going to these rods. And as you would a rod, what happens is someone can ask how, and the rods move with responses.
Right.
It does actually work. I don't know how it works. I did a show a little while back called Paranormal Blackout off of local TV on Ghost Planet Network. It's up there now. And I actually demonstrated it. And to show people I wasn't manipulating anything, I had my hand on a copper pipe and one on the lid of the box. And it actually spun. And I was getting responses, but there's a second part to this box as well, because it's also a divination box. So you can put things inside the box with paranormal interest and see if you can pick up questions or ideas. What is inside that box? The divination side of things.
It's a great idea because I mean I've watched a few teams use dowsing rods. Some are genuine.
Oh yeah,
But I've watched the odd one, and I think that's kind of spoils it for everybody. I've watched the odd one where you can see, Sarah spotted the videos as well. So is Laura, their actual thumbs are moving.
Yes. And as well, as you know, rods can be quite manipulated. The ones that are better to use are one with the hinges. Well, not hinges, but like we've got a separate handle, so it spins separately to the actual. Because as you know, the old coat hanger type ones, you can manipulate them quite easily.
Yeah, we've never. I mean, I've known people that use them. I don't know how Paranormal use them. I'm not sure if Eileen uses them or not.
Yeah. But that is one of the ideas. that is one of the ideas I'm using as well. You see, for Victorian type stuff.
Do you think? I mean, I think it will, but obviously you're the bridesmaid. Do you think doing this Victorian style stuff is going to encourage people more people into paranormal? I mean, the last couple of weeks I've spoke to 3 or 4 individuals. Eileen doesn't use rods.
Yeah.
3 or 4, people who are just starting up their own team, stuff like that. Do you think it's going to encourage people to come back in because they'll see that it's not expensive?
Yes, that's one of the reasons I wrote my first book as well, because just to show people what we do, it doesn't have to be expensive. But with regards to the influencing people, I hope it does. I mean, when I did the first event, the tester event for Paranormal Day, and the Back to Basics event, 4 hours of back to base, no technology whatsoever, and people loved it. I thought, why didn't we do this before? And I've got ideas. I've got more ideas in my head as well. Things I'm creating, things I'm inventing. And it's like, there's nothing in a paranormal world these days specifically designed to detect a ghost or a spirit. Because how can you detect something you don't know the base elements of? It's impossible to do. And so what I'm doing, this idea I'm doing, the Victorian style, I'm televising it on local TV for the Ghost Play Network. So all the short videos and things. And I hope it does catch on, and I hope people think, yeah, this is a quite good idea.
I was speaking to a girl a few days ago. She's on, her and her team's on a week on Sunday. They've not done their first investigation yet, and I said, so he's starting up. You've been out. No, we're not been investigating yet. I'm waiting to save up enough money to buy enough equipment to go with.
Yeah.
I said, well, you don't need it.
No.
When we first started investigating, we had a K2 meter, and that was we did was we had a K2 meter because we'd seen other folk using them.
Yeah, but another thing about K2s as well. A few years back, my eldest son Matthew, he bought me a K2, and unfortunately, he died of pardon the pun. So I didn't want to throw it away because he bought me it, and so what I did, I turned it into a music box. So it actually winds up now. So I've still got it. It looks like a K2, but it actually plays like harmonical music type, Pinky Plot music.
Right. We like the K. I know you and I'm watching investigations, and they say that the K2's going off, and you can tell they're standing way too. They're doing it as a live, and you feel like shouting down the telly, whatever. You're too near the.
Yeah.
Move back. I like the K2. I know, as I said before, 101 times and set it off. That's fair enough. Yeah. But as I said before, I always go by if it's sitting dormant for a length of time, then you ask a specific question and it lights up. Yeah. Then it goes back to being dormant. And then you do it, you ask another question sometime later and it lights up again. And right, well, that's no my phone. That's no a taxi going by with radio on or whatever. Something purposely. But I think the Victorian side is going to let people see that, hold on, we don't need a fortune to go and start investigating.
Exactly.
We don't need hundreds of pounds.
Even like I said before, I wrote my first book, and there's some instant tips in that. And that book's still available on Amazon right now, called Restless Realm. Thank you. And
we plugged.
Plug. But like I said, you don't need to spend a fortune. If you see people, you see people on TV using endorsing this, endorsing that, and it might work for them or whatever. But like you said before, is don't buy everything in one go. Borrow stuff if you have to borrow stuff, and see if it works for you. And I think, but realistically, all you need is probably a little dictaphone for EVPs. Take a camera if you wish, because photography is good. Notebook and pen. That's all you need to start jotting things down, and then build up from that and build your repertoire. If you want to go into the gadget side of things, a bit more advanced stuff, do so, but do it in stages.
Eileen's saying no one piece of kit without secondary validation is reliable. It's no. That's why. We're saying it time and time again. Your best piece of kit is yourself.
Yeah. And another thing as well, I forgot to mention, about the K2s a little bit earlier on, is another thing what sets them off. I collect wristwatches, and I've got a Seiko wristwatch, the lume, the dial, what glows up, that sets them off as well. I'm not just that as well. A lot of people, when he goes to ghost hunt, can you please put your phone in airplane mode? It doesn't do anything. All airplane mode does is actually suppresses the message getting to you. It still gets to the phone, but it holds it up in a buffer until you turn it back on. Now, people put them on airplane modes thinking, it's safe now, but they forget we're wearing smartwatches, some people.
So when it's on plane mode, the signal's still coming in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because you imagine, even a mobile phone is, I used to sell mobile phones. This is why I know this, you see, many years ago. But a mobile phone, even without a SIM card, to pick a signal, you still have phone emergency services. So even if you put an airplane mode, like I said, it suppresses the message getting to your SIM card. And it holds them in a buffer pattern. So when you turn it back on, it goes ping, 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 ping. It means they've already been sent. You've just been held back. You turn your airplane mode back on, you get messages. So you cannot really, in a mobile phone sense, you cannot really trust that device for credible paranormal evidence.
No, that's actually true enough. Appropriate trigger item relevant for location. I mean, even Eileen said that, we've tried the last investigation. Didn't work, but it was a whiteboard, but you could easily use a bit of paper. And I think I put a K2 during tap it. It was the only thing I had, and I just drew around it, and we buggered off and left it in the room. We went to another part of the room, came back. I had to move. But I mean, stuff like that, paper and a pen.
Yes, exactly.
It can be a £1 coin or something.
I've actually got, with my Victorian methods, I've got the full costume. I've even got Victorian money as trigger objects.
I've always like 2 and 6 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got all peppy bits and all sorts of stuff. I've got all my coins.
Bits.
Yeah, I've got the old coins, and it's something people say. I've been asked this before, and people say, when it comes to coins and things, is it okay to use like reproductions and things? I said, to be honest with you, old Victorian money, so it's cheap to buy. It's so mass produced. Get the original stuff. People use these. People have had them in their pockets. They've actually held them in their hands. They've been to the shop, holding things in their hands, hoping not to lose it, buying the purchases. And these have got essence on them. These have been used and been circulated. The original ones are always the best. Like some Victorian money, Edwardian money, it's so cheap to buy.
Aye, because you say they've been used, people have touched them, held in their pockets,
Exactly.
I would just get back to you saying about phones. Although we got voice through a phone that was powered off, that was in, correct me if I'm wrong, that was in the Banshee Labyrinth. It's in Edinburgh. They had a phone, and they got I can't remember what the voice said, but it was a voice came through the phone, but the phone was off.
That's interesting, that is, yeah.
We had an old penny on paper in Menzies Castle. It's so simple things, Barry, and that's how you and I got on so well. I need to say that because you're on the panel.
Because they're both simple.
Banshee, I was a Banshee in Edinburgh. It's because we think alike, and I think what you're doing is, I mean, we know you're the brains behind Proud to be Paranormal, which is...
I wouldn't say brains.
All right, the person then, shall we say.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah.
The being behind, and this was its third year running, and it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you're quite a well-recognised figure in the paranormal. I don't consider myself a public figure. I don't do that. And I'm not a celebrity. No, but everybody knows you.
Yeah. I hope it's for the right reasons, that is. I like what I've always done. I'm not talking about Scotland Yard or MI6 or anything like that. I know what you mean. Yeah. What I do with Paranormal World, I've always, since I've been involved with Paranormal, a few years back, as everyone knows, I had a bit of a bad time. And it was a paranormal community that helped me, not the real world. So what I try and do now with the Paranormal World, while I'm still in it, I'd like to give something back, and this is my contribution towards it. If I can do it honestly and fairly, And if I can educate people, help people along the way, even point them in a certain direction, I'm happy to do so.
No, you're right. Well, I'm not wearing a hat, but take my hat after you. But no, I totally agree. I mean, if you give it, we first started just before the pandemic, and obviously it was the big lockdown, etc. And we started doing our podcast, and I think the paranormal community got each other through it as well.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty crap time for a lot of people. Let's face it. But doing podcasts, it kind of took your mind off it, took you out of that.
That's what I mean, yeah.
That box and put you in,
Yeah.
And so with the paranormal community, when it pulls together, is a great community.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
And there's a few bollocks out there, basically, let's face it. You're going to get that in any bag of spuds, basically.
Exactly, exactly.
A few moldy ones.
Yeah.
But the genuine ones and the down to earth ones, usually you don't need to be famous. And that's the other thing about you're no stuck up your own backside or anything like that.
I'm not like that. I'm not even if I wanted to be, if I wanted to be, I couldn't do it. I'm not that character.
I mean, if somebody comes along, and says, "Oh, Barry, I read that book. You did really good." You get, "Oh, thanks very much." You get a wee bit of a boost, because somebody likes your book, But then you move on.
Exactly. When I wrote my book, I always wanted to write a book, and I thought to myself, even if nobody buys it, I thought I've got a book out there with my name on it.
You've done it.
I have done that, and I'm on my second one. I'm doing my second one hopefully soon as well. And but it's been sold in the United States, Canada, Australia. People all over the world been buying it, and so it's my little legacy to the paranormal world. And people have said it's a brilliant book for people who start in the paranormal world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because you're Eileen's saying there's a lot of lovely folk, a few there's I think we've all run into plonkers at one point or another. And no doubt there's more to come at some point. But it's a guide into the paranormal, which I think a lot of people need.
Yeah. I think as well, the paranormal world itself is, because we're in modern times now, people are shunning away from religion and moving towards the paranormal. I mean, in a way, it's a similar kind of thing, but everyone believes in it. I'm not getting people are religious. I'm going to go at people who are religious, by all means. But, I mean, they believe in an entity, but no one prove exists. It's similar to paranormal. There's no difference.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I speak to a lot of people. No doubt you do as well. It's like when you're popular, like what we are. I had to say that because Eileen's post.
I'm delusional as well.
I've got the post printed out and framed on the wall, Eileen. I've not really, but it was suggested by somebody, but I think it was sarcasm. But put it up. But even what I was saying, just before I get Laura's comment, Eileen put that wee post up about me yesterday, and I read it, and I was fairly chuffed, as we say up here. That's really, really nice,
I've got a suggestion for you, Scott, with that post. Put it on a t-shirt.
No, because Barry, do you know how many people would stop me in the street and ask to read my t-shirt? I'd never get round Tesco in one day. I'd need to go all day. I forgot what I was going to say. I'll come back to what I was going to say in a wee second. I'll put Laura coming up. I suffer from depression. At one point, my wife was an alcoholic. If it wasn't for the paranormal PIH, Scott and Sarah, I'd still be where I was. But being with PIH, it gave me a reason. And love researching, writing. Weirdly enough, my goals to write about a totally different subject, but no one's covered. It was me on Monday who suggested printing. It was Laura suggested print it out. No, I've totally forgotten what I was going to say. Because I think the paranormal's getting bigger, but there's still a lot of people out there that want to get into the paranormal. As you say about the religious side, there's still a lot of people out there that are interested in the paranormal, but they'll just not come forward.
Yeah. I think as well, it's like the stigmatism about it from years ago. Everyone if someone had a paranormal experience, they'd keep it quiet or not talk about it to anybody. Because in those days, in the 70s, 80s, it weren't as like as I won't say popular. People have always had an interest in the unusual, unknown, and the spooky stuff, basically. But it's always been it's been like a guilty pleasure kind of thing. But now, where people talk about MH, the most haunted thing, about how it's gone sour and things like that now. But it did start a ball rolling, and everyone used to watch it, myself included. And it did start that snowball rolling in a way. And people jump on, like I said, people jump onto it. It's got more popularised, more programs are doing it. The only problem with more programs doing it is we're doing the same thing. We need things to change. That's why I'm doing the Victorian stuff. It's different. And I think
you've mentioned this to me before.
Yeah,
it's very repetitive.
Yeah, it is.
And as you say, something different needs to kind of start happening. As you say, that's why you're doing the Victoria. I said Victorian. I knew I was going to end up saying Victoria at one point. It only takes one person who speaks for something to get into. Eileen's right. I've spoken to a few people who say, "Oh, I don't believe it," blah blah blah. I say, "Well, have you ever had something happen that you can't explain? A smell, you've heard something, maybe seen something, whatever. It could be 10 different things." Oh, I said, "Well, who's to say? Oh, well, maybe you're right. It does, start them thinking."
People don't realise. More people have an experience, not realise it.
Aye, exactly. The religious side I found is that they're interested, but it's a fear of being different. I still believe in Christ, but there's more than heaven and hell. They experience something, but they don't realise they've experienced it.
Exactly. It happens a lot with children as well, because I've read this, I've seen this some experience as well. You have little children, imaginary friends, for example. And my son, when I was younger, we put him to bed. He'd get out he gets out of bed a couple of hours later, take his pool. He used to have a pool bear in his blanket and put it in the child gate near the gate. And I says, "Why don't you put it not in bed?" He says, "Peter won't let me." "What do you mean Peter won't let you? It's your bedroom." Put him back in bed. He'd get out again, sitting near the gate. And he did that for a while. He doesn't remember it now, but we found out later on that house, when we were being built, someone actually fell off the roof, and apparently called Peter. And we thought it was just like a childhood thing, imaginary friend type of thing. But you get a lot of children being introduced to a paranormal and not realising it. And they talk about it with people. And some people think they're weird. "Oh, this kid's weird. It needs to be sorted." And it's not.
Aye.
If they get introduced in the right and proper way, it can be quite a beneficial thing. In a way, it can be quite soothing as well and relaxing in a way, because it shows that it's not negative. People think the paranormal is negative, and it's not.
It's not a negative thing. But
No.
I was saying, I've been stopped in Tesco by folk who recognise me with spooky stories. Never dismiss a child's remarks. I mean, our wee one's 9, and she's done a couple. I've done a couple of podcasts with her, but she's right into it.
Yeah.
And she's done some investigations with us. And as I've said to people, she's 9, but we're not pushing her.
Yeah.
We're just letting her go at our own pace. We did any investigations we've done, it's been during the day, but a few weeks ago we teamed up with Unlock Paranormal, Loudon-Kirk, and it was a night time. And I thought, well, I'm going to ask you, do you want to come? Her mum and I were there, Laura was there, and the other two, so there was plenty of adults about. Loudon-Kirk's totally safe, and there's nothing. We've been doing it for 4 years, never done anything negative there. And she says, she was right into it. She was there telling the other team how to use a K2 and stuff, even though they knew. She went, "Well, you do this with it and you do that with it." And, so I think you should encourage them. Don't push them.
As long as the right people are doing it, there can't be something wrong with it.
No, and it's folk usually say, "Oh, she's too young for that kind of." She's not, because it's no.
There's no age limit. But with a paranormal, there's no age limit. It's just how it's perceived and how it's how it's now what's perceived. It's more. It's how it's dealt with after the aftermath of it all. Do you take it in a positive light or a negative light, or and that crossroads? It can all start an old brand new journey.
I think it's obviously my son's 25-year-old. Since he was a baby, 90% of photos he's in a blue light Scott can. I've seen him. He's very rarely allows his picture taken now. It's a weird kind of blue light whenever a photo was taken. Wait a minute, Tammy's our wee their little cherub. But people, and it annoys me. I think because it's been very Hollywoodized. You know,
Exactly.
people paranormal, demon,
Yeah.
bang, go together.
Exactly.
But, you know, that's we were allowed in Kurt this afternoon, and one of our daughter's wee pals came and she says, "I want to look round the grave." I said, "Why don't you go?" And I just let the two of them go in.
Yeah.
And I said, because it's totally safe. There's nothing negative. There's nothing scary. You know, and we were part. There's only one way in and out of this place.
Yeah.
And there's a wall goes right around it. And I said, we're parked right at the gate, so on you go. But as you say, people associate it with negativity and demonic babble, that bollocks, you know.
And it's always, it's always like spirit boards, Ouija boards, angel boards, whatever you want to call them. It's you always get stories. Oh, I'm not going anywhere, man. I know somebody who's happened to somebody else's niece's nephew's dog or something. There's always but it's never been their experience. It's always been somebody down the line. And it's what's happened is Hollywood has done for paranormal what Jaws did for sharks.
That's a good comparison, actually. I like that comparison.
You imagine now, I mean, sharks aren't evil creatures. They're not. They're just doing what they do. More people will be killed by cars than sharks. I mean, nobody calls cars evil. Apart from Christine.
I mean, you can say Hollywood's done for paranormal what I did for Speedos.
I don't want vision in my head.
Click, mental photo, whatever.
I need therapy.
No sleep for you tonight. Laura, also your car is here. Whenever we pick Laura up for her house, she's sitting in the back, in the middle sensor will go after the seatbelt's no fashion, but and it's happened with 3 different cars. You know. Men in tight T-shirts with American accents have a lot to answer for. They certainly do. Ouija boards have given me validation 100%. Well, there's some image. Well, I'm glad I ruined your night as well, Laura, with that image of Speedos. No? I don't wear Speedos. I mind what this is on paranormal related, but you know, we went to many years ago, and it was my niece's boyfriend came out. He was English, you know, but not that makes any difference. But you know, we were there. We were off at Glasgow. We got to swim shorts and that one. You know, you get down to the knees and stuff. He came out. Now you're in Tenerife. We were in Los Cristianos, you know, and he came out with his Speedos on and goggles and a nose clip. We thought he was kidding. We thought he was doing it as a dare.
Did he have armbands as well?
No, one of the rubber rings with the duck head or whatever on it, you know.
I don't mean.
But see, when he came out, man, you were that. His niece Claire put him up to that. You know, and we say to Claire, what the? I says, is this a joke? She says, no, that's what he wears going swimming. She says, he's in Tenerife. You know, he's one guy in Tenerife with Speedos. Seriously. But the nose clips killed me. I know people have got to wear goggles sometimes because, you know, your eye condition or whatever, but the nose clip, that nearly ended me. I nearly ended up in the pool myself, you know, we were laughing. It was so fun. Anyway, back to what we were saying. What were we saying?
Speedos, jeez.
Let's go off the subject of Speedos, please. I mean, I don't even know if you can buy them. Not that I'm going to go to Asda looking, but I'm just saying I don't know if you can buy them or anything.
Based on Mankini instead.
But, oh no, a Mankini, no. Too uncomfy in the long bits.
You're supposed to wait the other way around.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
Back to front and upside down.
You got it. A bit of mental floss.
I was obviously holding the instructions the right way around then when I unwrapped it. What about it? Please, because you guys forget, please can we what? Move on. Please, because you guys forget I see Scott every day. Sorry, Laura. But I think this is we're proud to be Paranormal come in as well. You know, we'll just get back to the series stuff now.
Yeah.
Let's try and be serious for the last 10 minutes. Because people are wanting to get into the paranormal, but there's that thing holding them back. They don't want to be seen as weird.
There's nothing weird about paranormal. It's like you imagine. I deal with a lot of people in everyday life, normal life as well, from all walks of life. It becomes police officers, fire service. I deal with a lot of people, and the amount of people come talking to me about experiences they've had. And these, I've even had people from law courts working, living proper serious top end jobs. And they've come to me asking me to tell me little stories, a lot of experiences about us nurses, things like that. They always say to me, this might sound strange, but you have to remember, in the paranormal world, there's nothing strange in it. It's some things might be unusual, but never strange. And I'll never take anyone's experience away from them. They come to me with a story, an experience, it's whatever their experience is personal to them. Be it psychological, it could be stress related. It depends what's happening in their lives as well. I mean, because stress can bring on paranormal occurrences as well. Even tiredness, with mention medication, alcohol, the worst of all sins, and not just that. It's somebody comes up here, whatever they've experienced, it's personal to them. Even energy drinks. What happens is these some things you cannot trust. I mean, I always like to point this out actually, because most ghost stunts are done at night time, 9 out of 10 times, and you've already done a full day's work. You're tired, your body's flagging. So what do? You pump it up with energy monster drinks and Red Bulls and caffeine and stuff like that. But it might give you a short fix, but in the long run, does it alter what you experience? I think it does.
Yeah, Sarah drinks a Monster. I think she's 1 or 2 cans a day. I don't touch the stuff. I tried Red Bull once and that was the end of it, crap. But Sarah, she drinks the thingy. But I know what you mean. They get that stimulation for maybe an hour or two.
It chemically enhances the experience. So can you bill it? Is what you're experiencing down to the chemical enhancements, or is it a natural occurrence?
Mm-hmm. So that's how you're better. I was going to say getting in sober. Don't mean sober, but without any energy drinks or
I think stay tired. Tiredness in a way, when you're tired, you're in between worlds anyhow. So I think it's the better way to do it.
Because you're tired, you're not 100% concentrating. Your mind's kind of drifting. So you might think, and the mind drifting side that you've heard something or seen something, and there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
But you're convinced. And you're saying about people, coming forward. You don't take their experience away. To me, that's a good thing because as you say, it's a personal experience to them. It could be they smelled something, seeds, whatever it might be, and they've felt comfortable enough to
come forward,
to come and share it with you.
Exactly, yes. And no matter what happens, no one's got the right to take that away from people.
No, because I mean, it might be could the same be said for coffee and tea? I suppose it could.
Caffeine, if it's got caffeine in it, yes.
I suppose it could. I drink a lot of coffee.
Because coffee is a stimulant.
I do drink. Well, I've actually cut down my coffee intake.
Do you know what's better than a cup of coffee? Or better than a can of Red Bull or a better can of Monster? For energy? Red apples.
Red apples.
Yeah.
I'll take a note of that and run to Tesco tomorrow. I'll probably forget all about that. But The red apples. We stop drinking Monster and start eating red apples.
I can't eat apples.
All right, you slice them up. My dad used to do that. He used to sit with an apple and a knife.
Yeah, I remember that. A bit of cheese.
No, just an apple and a knife because he had dentures, so he couldn't bite them.
I see.
So he was sitting just slice it up.
What does a red apple do for you?
It gives you more energy and stuff.
It's a natural boost. And
it's a natural boost.
Like your Red Bull. It does what a Red Bull does, but more naturally.
Does the same as Red Bull, but naturally.
Right.
There you go. Whatever gives someone comfort or peace is okay. She'll probably no bother, but however. But no, as I say, that experience is personal with them. It could have been about a family member or whoever it is, and you've no right to take it away from them. You might, they might go away, might think, okay, that was a bit out there. Do you know what I mean? But that's their personal experience, and you just go along with it. I mean, it's happened to us all. It's happened a few things happen to me.
Another little tip as well I will give somebody is if you witness it, if you actually interview, because a lot of people, I always said this before, ghost hunts and investigations are two different things altogether. I mean, a ghost hunt is a few hours fun in an haunted location, but an investigation is a more serious side of it. And when it comes to interviewing people, it's like an old police technique is because what happens is every time you recall a memory, your brain slightly changes it. So the seventh time you recall it, it's totally changed. So the best thing to do if you interview witnesses is ask the same question repetitively over and over again. It might seem repetitive, like I said, but it does alter people's perceptions alter after every time they recall it. And that's true, is that?
Do you think maybe asking the same question would maybe bore?
Not necessarily. The best way to describe it is ask the same question but in a different way. Or do it with spaces. Ask that question, do a few more questions, then ask that question again. It'll jog the memory back and think, oh yeah, if it's happened like that. But last time you said you had green trousers, now you've got blue trousers. Things change all the time.
Fair enough. As you say, a ghost hunt, different. You in a ghost hunt, is anybody there? Kind of.
Yeah, basically.
Thing, But when you go to do an investigation, you're asking if there's anybody present, any spirits about, but you're also asking for details.
Yeah, exactly. Your credentials.
You're asking, maybe what age were you when you passed over, or did you work here? Did you live here? It's all different.
Another question people forget to ask is like you just mentioned, what age do you work? 9 out of 10 people say, do you work here? Do you live here? That's a question you hear every time. But it's a case of, say for example, I live in Warwickshire now, but I'm a Yorkshireman. And for me, it'd be a case of, ask a question, you could ask, where were you born? It's a different question. People don't get used to that. It's a different thing, what way of doing it. And you generate questions like, say for example, we just mentioned before, where you did your work here? Is it a workplace? Is this here? Did you die here? You don't want to hear things like that. And you get
even, I mean, just did you work here? That investigation Lauren and I did a few weeks ago with Dunmore House. We had the K2 sitting and I asked, did you work here? Nothing. And then I asked, did you live here? And the K2 went off.
Yeah.
No, that's no 100% proof. Obviously, no. It could have been. But I did hear a distinct woman's laugh behind me. And it wasn't through the app. It wasn't Laura because she was in front in a wee room. There was a short 2 or 3 second laugh behind me out loud. I know I did hear that. But if 2 witness accounts identical is perceived as false by Paul was too contrived. But I mean, you can even ask, can you tell me who the Prime Minister is? Or can you tell me who's on the throne?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what my other half is actually. Yeah.
And if you get, I don't think we've ever had an answer to that to this day. But if you get an answer to that, then you can judge roughly when
the thing about
from.
The thing about why that one doesn't work a lot is because I do know that because you think you're living in a time for 16, 17, 1800, and even though today we know who's on the throne, a lot of people in them days didn't know. They weren't. Or they were effective because you had royalty at the top end. Then you had your barons and your lords, and covering certain areas, and things got passed down. And the most royal person you'll see might be your sheriff, your local sheriff, or something. So in a way, you might not know who's on the throne.
Aye, that's true. I mean, there's 101 different questions you can ask. You know.
Oh yeah. There's also 101 questions not to ask.
What's that? What's the question you don't ask?
Well, like I said, basically, did you die here? Did you work here?
Aye, you know.
Yeah.
How did you die? Well,
yeah, exactly. You know you're dead.
I stopped breathing. That's how I died.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, even it might sound totally stupid, but even asking a question like, do you enjoy football, kicking a ball around a field? Yeah. If they say yes, then we roughly know when football first came out, you know.
Yeah. Another question you could ask as well, it's a generic one. What was the last thing you ate?
Aye, because then you can maybe go back and have a look.
Yeah,
obviously diets have changed.
People don't ask that question these days. And you don't hear it much. I've used it, but you don't get. They look at you and think, that's a different question. But it's different, and that's what I want to do. I want to do things that are different, no one's tried before. That's why the Victorian thing, I think, I'm hoping it'll take on, and I'm hoping people will watch it when it's on local TV and come to my events and watch my videos.
I think you will. I've just noticed the time. We'll wrap up because I know you're a busy man and you need you're up for work in the morning. But no, I think the Victorian Ghost Hunter will take off.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes,
because I think it's what the paranormal in the UK is needing. Just somebody to say, right, let's do this basic and simple.
Yeah.
No fancy gadgets. Just back to old school basics and see what we can do. I'll just pick these two comments up before we wrap it up. Yeah, and I got Laura got an EVP, and I can't remember what it was on, but I know she got an EVP. And I shared a can of lemonade with a spirit in it. That was a weird. We did Edinburgh Vaults, I don't know, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And with a table set up, we had bits and pieces on it. Cans of juice and all the usual sort of crappy snacks and stuff. And there was a can of lemonade on the table.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that was nice or something we got?
It was something like that, wasn't it?
It was something came through, that was nice. Some of those words. And there was juice missing out the can.
Yeah.
It was the necrophonic was on.
It was with me.
The necrophonic was on and it came through. That was nice.
I came through. That was nice. We all heard it. And there was juice missing out the can.
Yeah. So
we can't, and none of us drank it, so we cannot explain that one.
That's good. I like that one. Yeah.
Especially with that was nice. I told you about my smoking ghost, didn't I?
Yes.
It's with the smoking ghost with the responses on the K2. So it's strange things like that it's happened.
Yeah.
But there's no logical explanation for it.
No. And that's what people don't. That's what people don't forget about. We have it. Once you go for experience, it's all about well and good, and week after week they keep doing the same thing. But when it comes to, I won't say educated, because there's educators and there's entertainers in the paranormal world. And I want to do a little bit of both, but combine them. Who said education can't be fun?
You're trying to educate people, but make it interesting. Because let's face it, if you're watching some guy who's trying to educate you and he's exciting as a plank of wood,
exactly,
enough,
exactly.
And go and watch Blue Peter or something. I don't know, whatever.
Here's what I made earlier.
There's one I made earlier. So but you get that kind of personality that you can work it both ways.
I hope so, because I have got a good vast knowledge of things like this and what I do, and I thought, why not use it? Use it for something other than myself. If I can put my experience out there, share it with other people. I mean, if it pushes the paranormal field forward just a foot, I think it'd be a positive thing.
No, I think it will. I know I've been watching and saying to myself, wish you all the best of it. So where can you just? I will wrap it. We're going to wrap up there anyway. Thanks for the catch up, Barry. Great to see and hear your words of wisdom, boss. No doubt I'll catch you tomorrow sometime, as I imagine. My words of wisdom. Don't know what the word, but however, I don't care. I'll take that, you know. I'm always willing to impart my wisdom of the years upon people.
Yes.
So
Like an oracle. Like an oracle.
The oracle. It's been a good chat. It's been good to chat, guys. Thanks. Talk to you soon, Island Dog. Thank you. So where can people find you?
I am on Facebook. I have my personal profile, Barry Frankish. I've got BRF Paranormal. I work at the Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Inkley. So if you could up as a team, I'm there this Saturday night. I do host a lot of teams and look after a lot of teams. I'm doing my Victorian Ghost Hunt, the first official event in early December, but I'll be doing videos as well, workshops, but these will be advertised prior. And basically, I'm floating about. And so, but anybody, if you want to contact me or put invite to your shows or whichever, Victorian Ghost Hunter is back, and I'm open to take it more forward than it's ever been.
And we'll be posting it on the page. I just realised this isn't Blue Wicked, by the way. I've turned the bloody background up.
It's greenwash.
Excuse the mess on the table behind me. That's our workshop for our Halloween stuff. You know, I've got the inside done. We're working the outside. It's no Blue Wicked. It's actually lemonade with raspberry.
I know what you mean.
Blue raspberry. Just because I just noticed it. I thought, I think that's Blue Wicked or something. It's no. So we'll be posting about Barry's Ghost Hunter, Victorian Ghost Hunter as well. But give him a look up, folks. But I'll keep a hold of you just for a wee second after we come up. So a big thanks to Barry for coming on. Hope you enjoyed the chat.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy your chat, Scott.
I know. Who doesn't? I talk a load of crap, so you know. That's it. I don't do serious. I can't do it. I tried. I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, I was quite unwell after it. You know, I had to go and lie down. Basically, I just didn't like it. So you will be seeing Barry again, but go and give him a wee look up face. We're back. I think it's a week Sunday with Jess Ward for Jess Paranormal. But I'll be on tomorrow with our random questions. So Barry, you need to catch up on Facebook or something tomorrow.
I will try. I will try that the best. Yes.
Have you watched any of my random questions?
I have actually. Yes. What I've been doing, I sometimes have a bath and I'll put my phone on the floor and listen to whatever's popping up with I fancy.
All right, so you listen to me when you're sitting in the bath. Don't need that. That's as bad as the Speedo I meet.
I was about to say that. Yeah, not the best analogy.
Oh, Speedos and Barry in a bath. You know, it doesn't get any better than this. You know, so we're going to call it a night there, folks. So thanks for watching, and we shall see you soon. And so will Barry in a bath.
I will do.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.